Smoother. There we go. All right, welcome. Let's jump into our practice here. We'll start in a comfortable seat for some breath work. Breath work is so important to open your yoga practice. The movement helps us get into our body, makes us feel present, but just taking that moment of breath work really initiates that inner felt movement, building that kinesthetic awareness. Take a few breaths, just sitting here to start. Just feel across the torso here for a moment. See what that's like in the body. And then your two shoulder blades, they're triangular shaped, the scapula, and they sit on the back of the upper back. When we're seated like this, they're often sort of falling apart. Try to feel the upper back area. Three more deep breaths in and out through the nose. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to change postures and do a little more breathing. I've got this little handy dandy, it's actually a meditation station, but it's kind of like a bolster meditation station. And what you're going to do is you can see I'm going to lay it down here at the front of my mat. This is probably too high for you all. So you might grab a couple pillows, a bolster if you have one. I'm actually going to I'm going to open mine up so you see it's actually a little bit shorter now. And I've got a little bit of a pillow here. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your upper back on some kind of surface. So if you had pillows, you would stack up the pillows because pillows are very soft and they're going to compress. And you want your upper back to be on the pillow, the ledge, and your head is going to kind of fall off the ledge, and the rest of your body is going to go off the other edge down your mat. Now, I do want you to support your head, please. So you might need a second pillow. And it's almost as high as your first pillow, so that your head isn't just sort of totally like dangling sort of back there and straining. So if you see me now lay back on my ridge here, I'm going to put my upper back on the higher one, and my head will gently sort of rest on the lower one. So my throat is opened, but it's in no way straining my throat. I can talk easily. And if I even wanted it a little higher, you can just always add a blanket or add another cushion or something like that, so that you're not in any pressure. You could be here for 2-3 minutes. I'm gonna come and just look at the camera real quick just to make sure everyone's got a nice setup. Yeah, so you can feel this is much different than just sitting. As a matter of fact, it's almost the opposite. You should feel that the shoulder blades are trying to maybe come a little bit closer together, and the chest is being opened. Yeah. And let's take our arms, turn the palms up. And John, you're going to want to be particularly careful on that right shoulder. You might end up putting another blanket. Lynn might be able to pass you her block. You can put that block under your right elbow and kind of move it. If we move our arm up, you might be able to move that block to give yourself some support. You'll have to decide for yourself. Make sure it still works. And now everyone kind of spread your palms. Yeah, good. And you can either kind of bend your elbows and bring them by your hands by your shoulders. You can sort of stretch your arms out so your arms kind of feel like a U or a V. If you leave your hands down by your hips, we'll say that's a capital A shape. You can make a W shape with your arms. You could make a U or a V shape with your arms kind of over your head. You might, once you do this, you might not want your arms to touch the floor. You're gonna have to decide. You're gonna have to listen to your body, feel in your shoulders, but keep your palms spread. That looks good. So you might be able to go straight up over your head like two number 11s. Actually, it would not, it'd be one number 11, it'd be two number ones. And then back behind you overhead. Yeah. Yeah, towards the fireplace there, Lynn and John. Good. Now listen to that shoulder joint. And now you've got a lot of different places. I want you to find the place that feels the most fruitful for your breath work. The arm position that feels the most fruitful. Are your arms in the air somehow? Are the palms enlivened? Or is it a more calm, restful position? Just sort of pick the place where you're getting that chest opener, shoulder toning, and the arms are not causing any shoulder impingement. Yeah, once you've found a spot, yeah, that'll work too, Kathy. I think a little lower, that you're pretty high up there. That works. Yep. Adding a little more head support. Once you've found your position, you're just going to pause and rest there. Let the fascia sort of morph around the shape and posture. And breathe in and out through the nose. Kathy, if you're still feeling uncontent, I think you want to just go a little lower. I think that bolster's pretty thick. You might want to do like a blanket roll instead of that thick bolster. I think that's maybe like, maybe just 2-3 inches off the ground with your shoulders. That's a pretty high up bolster. So as you settle in now, try to open the chest. Sort of feel the sides of the chest and you stretch energy from the sides of the chest out to your palms. You stretch energy from the sides of the chest out to the palms. Breathe into your side ribs. Long, slow breath. Keep resting, keep relaxing into this shape. Making sure the body doesn't find any discomfort or dis-ease. Allowing for your breath to open the stretch from the inside. Wonderful. Two more rounds. Now when you're ready, you're just going to kind of start to scoot down so that your head has a little bit of a support, but your shoulders come down to the earth. So you're supporting the head a little bit, but the shoulders and the hips are now on the floor. Go slow. We don't want to tense up. Now that we've been settling in, turning our attention to our anatomy. Once you've got your head on a cushion, turn your head all the way to the right. And open your left hand out to the left. Make it a side stretch, neck stretch. You're going to turn your head all the way to the left. And take your right arm out to the right. Side stretch, neck stretch. And come back to center. And while we're here on the floor, just do a little hip opener, leg warmer. You're going to pull with your knees flat on the floor, sorry, your feet flat on the floor. You're going to pull your right knee in, no hands. Just pull your right leg in and then step the right foot up into the air and then place it back down. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pull the left knee in, step the left foot into the air, and then place it back down. Right side. Just nice, smooth articulation in the hip joint. Left leg. Or do the right leg 3 times. You're going to keep that foot in the air the whole time, just sort of like you're pedaling a bike. Pedal the bike. Keep going. Nice and slow. Put that leg down. The same thing. You're going to pull the left knee up. You're going to pedal the bike 3 times on the left side. Smooth flowing joints. Good. One more time on the right side. 3 rounds. And then one more time on the left side, 3 rounds. Steady, slow, constant motion. Place the feet together, let the knees drop open. Warm the core up a little bit. You're going to press your belly muscles down into your low back and just lift your head off of its prop. Doing a gentle curl up and then rest back down. Do that 2 more times. Gentle curl up, belly muscles down into the back, back down into the floor, and rest. Last round, curl up and rest. And now you're going to curl up into the right leg, 1. And then curl up into the left leg, 2. Your hands will go touch the thigh or knee, up to the right, 3. Up to the left, 4, 5, 6, 2 more, 7, and 8. Good. Resting back down. Relax into the mat. Feel the body. Do a gentle twist here. You're going to pull up your left knee. You're going to take it all the way across. You could put your heel, your left heel on your right knee. On top of the thigh there. Get that kind of twist shape. You're going to unwind. You're going to kind of take the right leg up and over to the left. And then just keep rolling onto your side from here. And go ahead and swing yourself all the way around. tabletop posture. Sway your ribs out to one side, and then sway your ribs out to the other side. Just go back and forth here, finding our breath. Good. From here now, come back to center, melt your ribs down, open your throat a little bit. Now move the ribs away from the shoulders, move the shoulders up into the sky. Move the center of your chest down to the floor. Good. Now strongly engage your arms. Start to straighten your elbows and push your palms down. Feel a tone in your core. Breathe here. Good. Look up and then look over your right shoulder and step your right leg back as far as it'll go, toe on the floor. And let's come back to center. Look up and over your left shoulder and step your left toe back as far as it'll go. And then come back. Sit back. You can sit your hips back. Let's keep our chest up today. And try to melt our chest again through our shoulder blades, through our arms. Arms nice and steady, nice and straight. Good. Sit the hips back a little further. The head is above the heart, heart is above the hips because we're still sitting back. Good. Now come rock back up. We're going to go ahead and step your your left foot out as wide as it'll go. Off the mat. Just plant the foot down and sort of just stretch the inner thigh here a moment. And walk the hands away from that thigh. Get an even deeper inner thigh stretch. Let's step it back. Arms straight. Sit back. Gaze up. And then go ahead and step the right foot out wide. So the foot is flat, knee is vertical above the foot. And you're going to walk the hands away from that leg. Don't let that leg move. You're going to get a deeper inner hip stretch. And then you come back. Excellent. Excellent. We're going to come on down to our elbows. Or forearms, I guess, is more accurate. Placing the elbows under the shoulders. Lift the chest up. And you're going to press down with your elbows and kind of pull the body forward, pull the spine forward a little bit. Breathe here. As you pull your body forward, that's the same thing as saying press your arms down and drag them back without moving them on the mat. Yeah, good. Kathy, lay down, bring your hips to the floor if you can, like a Sphinx pose. And pull the elbows in a little bit. You pull the elbows in a little bit, that's the base of the rhomboids toning. That's the base of the shoulder blade tips engaging. You press down on the elbows, draw the elbows back, and then gently start to turn them in to get the rhomboids to fire. Good. Now, if you can, see if you can hold that, you can lift your legs and send your arms out like you're a hovering bird. Breathe here. Two more deep breaths. Stay with it. We're not going to collapse on the last breath. You're going to gently, softly, gracefully sink down. Turn your head to one side. Rest your cheek on your palms. Feel and be in your body. key is to appreciate the breath. Just enjoy breathing. The sound of the air, the way it makes your body feel. There's so much there. You can be like a connoisseur of a breath. This will always be able to calm you down. You can learn to just appreciate the feeling of breathing. Okay, let's come back up into our Sphinx. Work on that same action again. Remember, the arms aren't moving, it's the feeling of them moving. You press them down, you pull them back. And to get those bottom tips of the shoulder blades, bottom parts of the rhomboid to fire, you not just pull back, but also sort of angle in energetically, not physically, the elbows. So you've got that feeling in the mid back, upper back. You're gonna lift the legs and shoot the arms out like hovering wings. Breathe. Enjoy the feeling of breathing. It's gonna be with you your whole life. Good, and rest down, turn your head to the other side, resting the cheek on the backs of the hands. Good. Let's walk our fingertips straight out in front of us and pitch tense. So our wrists are really high and our 10 fingertips are on the mat, on the floor. Good. Try to hollow out your armpits to get a lot of space in your neck. Kind of slide your chin forward on the floor. Really high shoulders up by your ears. Good. You're going to keep your fingers down where they are. I'm just going to roll your hips. You're stacking your hips on one side. Try to keep your shoulders in place. Kind of open up the shoulders by rolling our spine. We rotate our hip. We stack our hips. Let's roll the other side. Your spine moves all the way up through the rib cage. The rib cage rolls. The neck will roll. And you're trying to keep the shoulders from moving. They're going to move. Let's roll back to the other side again. But you're trying to keep them from moving and get some articulation on the rib cage. Just roll the hips again to the other side. Try to keep your fingertips, keep your shoulders in place if you can. One more time, roll to the first side. And one more time, roll to the second side. Come back to center. You're going to lift your arms straight up in the air if you can, like you're a superhero flying. Deep breath. Deep breath. And press your hands down under your shoulders. Swoop it up, cobra pose. Exhale back, downward dog. Deep breath here. Come on down to kneeling posture. All right, Bill, I should have warned you. You can do this from kneeling now if you don't mind, Billy. You're going to take your palms out to the side like this, elbows near the ribs. You're just going to pull the elbows and the hands back. You can think of it like your spine was the spine of a book, and your arms are like the book covers, the book binding, and you're opening the book. Peeling it back, feeling the opening across the chest. Good. Now, try not to protrude too far forward. We're going to come back down, close the book. Very nice and slow. Open the book again. Without letting the spine protrude forward. You feel those muscles tone onto the side body. Good. Now keep the hands back, go up into the plane behind your head so you can interlock your fingers. Good. Press your head into your hands, lean back, pull the elbows and shoulders back. Look up at the sky a little bit. And hands down on the thighs. You can sit back a little bit, round your back slightly. Let's do that same thing. You're just going to step one and step two. You're going to do the exact same sequence standing. A little harder now that we're standing because not only can the chest move forward and back, the hips can move forward and back. So we're going to try to concentrate on keeping the hips and the chest in motion. You're going to hold that book, create your arms into a book binding again without letting let me turn to the side so you can see. We're not letting the hips or the ribs sway forward. We're going to nice and slow pull back, feeling the muscles of the back body tone towards the spine. Good. Once you have that, you're going to keep the hand in the back plane as you swoop them up, interlocking them behind your head. Press the head into the hands, start to gaze up. Notice how the hips and heart want to sway forward. Keep that engagement. Good. Exhale, hands on your thighs. You can sit the hips back now, dropping the sit bones down, letting the head get a little heavy, gazing down. Breathe. That whole sequence one more time. Inhale up, book binding. Keeping the spine stable in space. Open. That subtle body awareness, that breath work awareness, is what allows us to make these micro sort of awarenesses. It's so easy to do this shape and just let the hips and ribs move forward. But the yoga of a movement practice is this ability to hold these subtle details in your consciousness. Let's go up, keeping the hands in the back plane, interlock the fingers, press the head back, start to look up. This can grant us greater sense of ease in our body by being present, diligent, and focused. Hands on the thighs, we'll sit back, drop the head a little bit, rounding the spine ever slightly. Good. Inhale, reach up to the sky. You can join the hands together. You're going to step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Doesn't matter which one, we'll just alternate. And stretch through that back calf. Stretch through that back calf. Press down through that front shin. Good. Bring the hands back by your sides. Inhale, swoop the arms up. You're going to step the other foot forward. Then at the beginning, long stride, just work on stretching the back calf and pressing the front shin down. Step it back, bring the hands by your sides. Good. Again, inhale, swoop the arms up. You can turn let's all get on the same page now. Turn the right foot out a little bit and step the left foot forward. So we're still in Warrior One version. Planting down to that back foot to stretch the calf and pressing down through the front shin. Good. Stepping back, hands by your sides, mountain. You'll turn the left foot out slightly. Inhale, arms up, stretch down and out. Warrior One, right foot forward. Good. Stepping back. This time you're going to take an even longer stance, maybe starting further back. You can turn your foot out 45 to 60 degrees in the right foot. And you're going to inhale, lift up, and take a long stride. So you actually end up in Warrior Two legs. And as you step out with the arms up, you'll open the arms out, Warrior Two. Good. Much longer stride here. Good. Press off the front foot if you can. Back to mountain pose. Turn the left foot out 45 or 60 degrees, not all the way to 90, like we sometimes practice. 45 or 60. You're going to inhale, lift the arms up. You'll take a big stride forward and open the arms as you do so. Warrior two. Good. Press down to the ball of the front foot and try to push back to mountain pose. Do it one more time. You're going to turn, pivot the right foot out. Inhale, arms up. On the exhale, long stride, warrior two. This is great work for our balance, making sure our muscular strength matches our mobility in our hips and our stride, and step back. Trying to get that one step on warrior two, it's not easy. Turn the left foot out, arms up, long stride, warrior two. Good, clean transition, everyone. Push off the ball of the front foot. I'm not getting back there myself either, actually. Try. Good. Okay, so now we're just going to try the warrior one more time. So a little bit more of a closed stance. With the right foot, you're going to inhale, lift up the arms. And with the left foot, warrior one. Pushing forward with the hips and the body. Planting that back leg down. Good. Breathe here. From here, stay in the pose. Pull the arms open, field goal post arms. Pull the shoulder blades back and bind the hands behind your back. Squeeze the chest backwards. Yes, and try to pull the knuckles down towards the back heel. Good. And bend the back knee, step forward. Right, back to the back edge of our mat. You're going to turn that left foot out just a little bit. If you can, you'll keep the back heel down. It's okay if it comes off a little bit. Inhale, arms up. The longest stride of our warrior one. Remember, the hips are going to point forward. The arms are going to stay lifted. Step forward. Chest and hips moving forward. Breathe here. Looks good. Pull down. Field goal post arms. Keep breathing. Appreciate the feeling of breath. It's there. Even though you've got to hold this difficult pose, you're going to bind the hands behind your back and sort of press the knuckles down towards the back heel if you can. Don't move the spine. Looks good. And then step forward to mountain. Excellent. Let's go ahead and take our feet as wide as our yoga mat. Dip our head over to our left. You can turn the heels out slightly, it might help. We're going to bend our knees, slide our hands down to our knees, and then sweep like a crescent our head over to the other knee, other side. Inhale, stretch the legs back up. So our head is now hanging off the right side of our body. Bend the knees, hands go down the legs. Once you're in that sort of squat, horse stance, small horse stance, rock and twist crescent over to the other side. And then inhale up. Do that a couple more times. Bend the knees, sink down. Roll crescent. Rise up. Exhale, sink down. Roll crescent. Rise up. Sink down. Roll crescent. Inhale up. Exhale down. And roll crescent.
Inhale, back up. Good. Bring the feet back to center. You're going to place the legs together if you can, or a little bit separated. And maybe even putting a block between your ankles and knees. Bend the knees deeply, squeezing the inner legs together, either with a block or just the knee on knee. Put the fingertips on the knees if you'd like. Go to level 2, you're going to hover your heels and go a little lower. As you go lower, now pull your shoulders back. Got to get as upright as you can. If you can see yourself in the mirror, or I'm sorry, in the camera, you can think about making your body more upright. Yes, pulling the core in, leaning back, using those mid-back muscles to bring your body upright. Good. Press down, inhale, lift your arms straight up to the sky. Exhale, bring the arms down by your sides. So that's these muscles that we've been working on are what keep us upright as we sink down. So if you want, you can even use the camera to notice when your body starts to fall forward to go into the pose. Squeeze the legs. Pull these upper back, mid-back muscles in. And bend the knees deeply. Trying to stay upright as you can. Good. Level 2, you're going to hover the heel even and sink a little bit lower. Using our quads and glutes to keep us upright. Using your core. Breathing. And inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. Then relax it back down. Good. Go ahead, take a nice wide stance on your mat. You can back your heels up to the edge of your mat, the long edge of your mat. Nice wide stance. If you've got a prop, you can use a prop like a ledge of a table. I'm going to use that bolster again that I used earlier. And you'll bring your hands down to that ledge. If you don't, you can use the floor. 2 blocks would work as well. And you can have the camera in your view. You can look, try to make your spine straight and parallel with the floor. That's the benefit of the ledge. It's a little bit easier than if you were on the floor with your hands. And as you work that, you're going to press down through your legs and try to extend the legs straight. They don't have to get straight. They're just working towards straight. We don't want to disengage the musculature. I can easily lock my knees out. I'm actually trying to keep my knees a little bent and feel the muscular engagement the whole time as I work the legs straighter. Good. Lift the chest up a little higher if you can, almost like you're trying to broaden your shoulder blades now. Push down with your hands and lift your spine up to broaden your shoulder blades. Good. Keep that, bend your right knee very deeply. Feel the inner thigh stretch. Good, come back, find the shape again. Push down with your hands as you lift up with the back of your heart. Not rounding. And then bend your left knee very deeply. Breathe. Good, back to center. You can shift your hips back a little bit. Level 1, you'll put the hands on the hips. Level 2, you'll keep your arms out by your sides. And then inhale, come all the way up. Awesome. Awesome. From here, just turn your right foot out 90 degrees. You can slide your left heel back a little further, closing your stance. Got a nice long warrior 2. Bend the knee. Good. Bring the elbow to the thigh. And let's swoop the arm. Side angle pose. Breathe here. Pressing down through the back foot, back big toe, back heel. cinch the bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards each other to broaden the top of your collarbones, the top of your shoulder. Good. Reach out for that top elbow a little more, Kathy. That's it. You too, Jim. Lift that arm up nice and high, like you're being lifted up by your fingertips. Come all the way up. And let's turn our feet for the second side. Remember that back foot's going to pivot back as well with the back heel. You'll bend the knee towards warrior two. And then go ahead and place the elbow on the thigh. Then send that top arm up and out on an angle, side angle pose. Press through the back big toe and back heel. And squeeze the bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards each other. From there, extend out through that top elbow a little more. Breathe. Feel the breath in the pose. Keep lifting that top arm even higher until it can pull you up out of the shape and back to center. Good. Let's bring the legs a little closer together for a moment. Just work out the legs. Let's step open wide again. Turn the right foot out 90 degrees. Push down through the feet. You can close that back foot a little bit today. That's kind of how we've been working with our hips, a little bit more of a closed stance in our long stance. Look down at your knee and ankle of your front leg. That's your right one. Notice that you can kind of turn, you can turn that kneecap to point in. You can turn that kneecap to point out. It has some rotation. And as you turn it, it maybe changes the foot a little bit. Make sure that kneecap is pointing straight out over the second toe. Not falling in, it's not turning out. And now pull your hips back so you're gazing out over the shin. And you can place your hand down on your shin. Push that shin down into the floor. And now try to pull your body away from the hand, away from the shin. Almost like you're trying to pull yourself up, but your hand is holding you there. Yes, that is toning the side body muscles. Now, squeeze that top shoulder blade in and down onto your back. Yep, it's that action we've been working all class. If you want, you can bring your, do the half bookshelf thing, where you open the book. Yeah, good. Now, if you can do that, try to recreate that on the bottom arm as well. So you're just like, looks like you're turning your palm out on that bottom hand. Yes, now if you can, straighten both arms, keep that action. It's like what we did on the floor earlier when we did the soaring bird. Breathe, pull the shoulder blades back, keep breathing. Looks good, everyone. Stretch the arms out even bigger, more bountiful expression of the pose. And inhale, come up. Let's step out of the shape. That was a long hold. Good work, great work. Mindfulness on the details. That is what the inward attentiveness, inner breath work can create for us. It just becomes, otherwise it just becomes an overwhelm of instruction. Let's go ahead and step nice and wide again. We'll do our second side. You're going to turn your left foot out. You're going to close your right foot a little bit. Go ahead, look down at your kneecap in your left leg and just experience that it does in fact rotate. Then try to point it straight over the second toe. Make sure it feels secure. Get a little bit of a closed stance today as you pull your hips back. You reach down with your left hand and grab your shin. You can push your shin with that hand into the floor. As you do that, try to lift your body away. From the shin, creating a tone in the core and the side body muscles. Good. From here, if you want, you can do that book action again, like we've been working on, to hug that right shoulder blade into the spine. Yeah. And try to create that similar feeling in the left arm as well, so the shoulder blades hug into the spine. That's it. And if you're ready, you're going to extend out with the elbows without losing the core action. Yes, excellent work. Beautiful. Breathe here. The breath, move through the stability of your attentive mind. A little more bountiful arms, bring those arms higher, brighter, without losing the core engagement of the shoulders and back body. Inhale, back up. Step out of your shape. Really nice work. Really nice work. Let's move to our balancing segment now. You can go to a wall. You can even have something that you want to step on for support. You can put your left foot on a surface for support. If you're at the wall, you're going to have your right arm on the wall. And you can actually work on that action today by kind of pulling back on the wall and rotating the arms to get that tone in the shoulder blade. If you don't want to use the prop, you're going to then lift the foot up and hold under the foot with your hand. Now pull the knee open. And as you pull the knee open, think about that action with the shoulder blades. Both arms, both shoulder blade tips are opening as well, even as you pull the knee open. Good. Breathe. Level 2, if you're holding under the leg, push the leg into the hand and start to extend the toe out. Back in and release. Use the other side of the wall so the other hand can be on the wall. And folks, even though you're using the wall, you can still do this thing that we've been working on, right? This action that we worked on with the book covers, you can still do the core of that action even with the hand on the wall, even with the hand on the leg. Left foot down, right foot up. Get on a prop, no problem. Or you will hold under the leg. Start to engage those shoulder blade tips. So both elbows work in tandem as you open the right knee. Good. If you're ready, you're going to start to think about extending out through that toe. Back in and release. Good. Bouncing again, you're going to put the other hand on the wall. No, actually, I'm sorry, stay where you were. You're going to bring up the left knee so the left hand's on the wall, the same side. Left hand on the wall, left knee in the air. You're going to hold the ankle with the right hand. And bring the ankle to the hip. If you're not using the wall, then you can just be free floating. Good. Try to bring that ankle to the outside of the hip and see if that knee can lower back down, moving it, making its way back towards the other knee. Good. If you've got that knee kind of below the hip, you've got your knee below your hip, You can start to open the body up, pulling the elbows back, pulling the shoulders back. And release the leg. Now, please flip on the wall. So the right hand will be on the wall, the right knee will come up, and you'll hold the ankle in the left hand. And we'll start to think about descending that knee back towards the other knee next to it. The knee gets below the hip. You can start to think about drawing those elbows back, shoulders down, and rising up through the chest, creating some clearing in the front of the hip there. Looks good, everyone. And release. Okay. Come down to a kneeling posture. You will take your knees apart today and keep your toes tucked. So the knees are maybe shoulders distance apart, whatever feels sort of stable for you. And the toes tucked means the pads of that, to me, means the pads are on the mat, pads of the toes. When I say pointed, that means the toenails are up. Pointed is when the toenails are down, tucked is when the toe pads are down. You're going to sit back a little bit with your hips to start, your groins. Breathe here, make sure this feels good on your back. And then you're just going to rise back up. Just going to do it 2 more times. I'm going to sit back a little bit. And you rise back up. And they're going to blend that with this act we'll be doing all class. The book covers. And as we sit back, we're going to pull the elbows and hands back. Not really let the ribs pop forward. And then come back up. Relax the pose. Okay, we're going to sit back. Pull the shoulder blades back. Now, if it's available, you're going to put your hands on your heels. They shouldn't be too far away. Too far away. If you can find your heels, you're going to push your hips and your heart forward and up into camel pose. Really nice. Open that strength, wrapping those muscles into the spine, lifting up through the heart. Beautiful. Breathe. Good. Release the hands, sort of sit the hips back. You will point the toes now. Bring the hands to the floor. Just rest here a moment. Let the muscles kind of come out of the shape. Cross your ankles and sit back. Try to make your shins parallel. So it's like ankle under knee. Ankle under knee. And just let the head grow heavy here. Roll back up and change which leg is in front. We'll do the same thing. Not really bowing forward, just letting our body sort of naturally rest and
counter some of this back toning that we've been creating all class. Good. From here, you're gonna lean onto your left hip. As you lean onto your left hip, you're gonna take both feet to your right. So your shins are sort of staggered together. Good. Now put your right hand on your right ankle and pull that leg closer in. So you're pulling that you're pulling that ankle and foot in towards the hip. I should face you so it makes more sense. Grabbing this ankle, you're pulling it in, so the toe is kind of pointed, it's on the top of your foot. Now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna use your left hand and kind of scoot yourself back upright. You got a deep stretch going on in the knee and internal rotation of the hip joint here. If you want to do it more advanced, you would try to get this hip on the floor, and you can work on getting this foot, the front foot, closer into the thigh. This is our pose. If you're able to get your hips completely on the floor, you'll try to get your foot on top of your thigh. If you're like me, you're just kind of hanging out here in this knee joint, hip joint, and seeing what's available. Thinking about getting this hip a little bit heavier to the earth. So let's go ahead, lean back over to the left, unswoop the knee, and slowly roll ourselves over to the other side. Then you're going to grab with the left hand, the left ankle, you're going to pull it back so that the top of the foot comes to the floor. And if you're ready, you'll sort of push with that hand, the right hand, the opposite hand, bring yourself somewhat upright. Don't put over pressure on that knee. Once you know that there's sensation there, that is plenty. We observe it, we study it in our awareness. Good. Lean out of that pose, unhook that leg, and swing it around. You're going to place both feet on the floor. You're going to sit your core back a little bit. And roll your spine into your mat. From here, let's pull the left knee into the chest. Then pull the left knee across the body. Roll yourself back up. Put the leg out. Bring the right knee into the chest. Grab it in the left hand and pull the leg across the body. Roll back up. press the palms face down near your hips. Pressing the palms face down near your hips, try to slide the hands closer to your feet. Feel how it brings the shoulder blades down away from your ears? Keep that. Press the feet down to stretch into the back of the neck and shoulder, sending the hips skyward. Lower back down. Practice the pose in the same way again. Press the palms down and stretch the fingers towards the feet. Keep that sensation. Press the feet down to open into the back of the neck and shoulder. Lower back down. One more round. Same pose. Palms pressed down. Reach the fingers to the heels. They don't have to get there, just energetically. And then push down with the feet to lift up. Breathe into the stretch. Lower back down. If you have a couch ledge or a wall available, you can use that for this last one. Or you will just find a prop and put your legs up, put your hips under that prop, and put your legs in the air. If you do have a couch or a wall, you'll put your legs, your knees, your heels on that wall just to elevate the legs. And just rest here. A little bit of height under the hips can work fine too. Creating an inversion. We'll be here for a few minutes. Some of us may even stay here for Shavasana. Take your time getting comfortable. And then feel your breath.
prefer to transition to a more classical Shavasana, now is the time to sort of come off the wall or off your props. And settle in. You're also welcome to stay here. As long as you like.
Start to stretch your body. Roll to your side. And find a comfortable seat. Namaste.